Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I am Morris Merriweather, the host of Straight Talking Room 503, and also the author of Enough is Enough. I'm so glad that you chose to join me again for another session in 503. Today's topic is the children are watching, the children are listening. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to go to class. That's the bell. I'll see you in class. Ladies and gentlemen, school is about to start again for another school year. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that it is a sad commentary that across this nation, schools are starting back. No one has really dealt with the problem of why all kids are not learning. They're not dealing with the fact that some teachers are not just with all of the students. Some administrators are not just. Some boards are not doing their job. But in spite of all of that, we are beginning the school year up again. There again will be students without books, but yet we're talking about putting laptops in the hands of all students. They don't need laptops. They need people who care in their lives. Ladies and gentlemen, as I normally do, we started out by talking about what's going on in my hometown, because I tell you each week, the same thing that's going on in my hometown is going on in your hometown. Ladies and gentlemen, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable how we pretend that we're smart and how we allow our taxpayers' dollars to be spent on people who are holding down some students while pushing others forward. Something is badly wrong with that. Then we go to church each Sunday, giving God praises, have our Bibles in our hand, and pretend that we're going to heaven. And there's no truth in that. The gates of hell is waiting for some of us. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to this. In my hometown, 57% of the population are African Americans. And ladies and gentlemen, in our school system, 65% of the students are African Americans. Ladies and gentlemen, I just push for fairness. I'm not a racist. I'm a realist. Ladies and gentlemen, in my school system, and the same is happening in yours if you just take time and study and listen and go to board meetings. This year in my hometown of Madison County, 125 teachers was hired. Of that 125 teachers that were hired, less than 8 of them was African American males. And across this country, we know that we're dying to have males in the classroom. Then we asked ourselves, why are some of our students cutting up? Why the guys are not disciplined? They're coming from home where there's no dad. They're going to church, and the churches are ran by females. Then they come to school. Again, they see females. They're not used to males in their lives. And they begin to wonder, why is it that I don't see males? Why don't I see someone looking like me? Of that 125 students in my home, teachers in my hometown, less than 10% out of 125 was African Americans. But yet school is starting up less than 24 hours from now. And we'll go on as business as usual. Now, for a few moments, I'd like to talk directly to my African American people in my hometown. I am ashamed. I'm just ashamed. I just don't understand how you sit on the sideline with your degrees, living in your fine homes, driving your fine automobiles, wearing your fancy little clothes, got your good smelling cologne and perfume on, and don't have enough sense to come out of the rain. That's some of you I'm talking about. Don't say I'm talking about you. This is just like shoes in a shoe store. I wear a size 12. You bring me an 8, I can't wear it. You're not selling me those shoes. I can't sell that it's you. If it doesn't fit, don't force it. You can't wear it. But if that shoe fits you and you doing nothing, saying nothing, the children are listening. The children are watching. What are you going to say? Grandmama, why didn't you speak up for me? Why didn't you make sure that not only was I privileged to Caucasian teachers in the classroom, African American teachers in the classroom, why didn't you make it so? Why did you keep on taking tax dollars and spending and supporting everybody else and not supporting me? and supporting our race. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a sad day. But yet we're going on. I was among the one or two people at our last board meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a hymn that we sing in church. Let me make sure I get it right. I'll go if I have to go all by myself. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you, if I have to speak each week and go to board meetings, confront superintendents in board meetings. I've been on the phone with board members of my system this week. Last Thursday, a week, I was talking directly to the superintendent. I'm going to continue to do my part. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody's talking about heaven's not going to heaven. I'm going to do my part because I know he's going to ask, what have you done for the least of thee? He says in his word, what you've done to the least, you've done it unto me. So if you have not worked with those who are not able to speak out and speak for themselves, I'm going to continue to speak for those without voices. Then people wonder, well, why are you doing well? I'm doing well because I'm blessed. You get blessed if you do what is right. And I'm going to continue to tell the unadulterated truth. I'm retired. I'm not looking for anybody to hire me. I'm going to tell the truth. I'm not kissing butt and shaking hand and grinning and scratching. I'm just simply telling the truth. I don't need anybody but God now. And I'm going to have to go alone if I have to, because it doesn't look like I'll come to you each week. I don't hear anybody talking back. Now, not all the things you agree with, but there ought to be something that I'm saying each week that you agree from. The comment corner is quiet. The book sale is not jumping off. Books are not jumping off the shelf. Yet I know it's a good book because of the fact that I wrote it under the pressure, under the auspices of the Lord. God made sure that the truth was being told. And I truly believe that one of my purpose, if not the purpose, is to help those without voices. And ladies and gentlemen, I ran into a guy yesterday, and he was telling me he was from my school, and he was able to graduate, and he was going on into some things, and I was just blessed to hear all of the good things. He said, Mr. Merriweather, you always encourage us to go to church and seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. I want you to know that I joined the church last week, and I rededicated my life. No money in the world could have been and done more for me than what that young man said. And the only thing I said back to him, I don't take credit for anything. I said, to God be the glory. But how many people are you saying? You ride into church each Sunday, just you putting up on the parking lot. You're not stopping to talk with a child. You're not volunteering. You're not even attending board meeting. You won't even speak up. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a sad day, not only in my hometown, but in your hometown. Ladies and gentlemen, the children are listening, and the children are waiting to see what you're going to do. I'll be with you in just a few minutes. We'll go further down the road. Stay with me. You know, I was watching a video this week of a little black boy in the White House. When he observed President Obama, he asked him, is your hair like my hair? And you would see the President of the United States hold his head down while the little boy see if his hair is like. He in his little mind, he couldn't imagine. But you look like me. But you look like me. And do we have a black president? Ladies and gentlemen, the children are watching. They're saying the same thing. Why don't I see more people like Mr. Merriweather in school? As we retired, the African American administrators, we was not replaced by blacks. That was whites. We have in my hometown a school called Early College High School. The first principal was African American. Starting Monday morning, this school year, the principal will be white. We sit back in the community, we said nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, black and white. Everybody needs to work and make a living. We continue to struggle with Black Lives Matters. And a lot of my white friends doesn't like that. But it's not so much that Black Lives Matters, is that Black Life Matters too. Everybody life matters. Ladies and gentlemen, we have got to quit playing games. Truly, if my friend is white, and I have some white friends as well as I have black friends, if I can't talk to you without you getting upset, and you can't talk to me without me getting upset, then ladies and gentlemen, we never was friends, because friends listen to each other. They don't always agree, but they disagree to agree. But ladies and gentlemen, that it's a sad day. I was listening to our candidate, the Democratic candidate, Ms. Hillary Clinton, says that it takes a village to raise a child. That is true. But in my community, as well as in your community, the village is quiet now. It does take a village. When I grew up, everybody in the neighborhood could say something to us. We had to listen to everybody. But now our parents says, you don't have to listen to nobody to me. What she say to you? She went ready to cuss her out. Ladies and gentlemen, and then I see people of other races. They won't say anything to our children. We won't say nothing to their children. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a sad time. We're in the final days. You ought to be able to see that. It is just a sad occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, as you heard Michelle Obama, our First Lady Michelle Obama, she made the statement that the White House was built by slaves. Most of you should know that if you've been taking your history. But now if you've been in schools where it was predominantly white, they didn't talk about that because they didn't want you to know who built it. But at the same time, the White House was built by slaves. Now we won't go to meetings to help our children. We'll go to church, but we won't go to the schoolhouse and see what's going on with the children. That old lame excuse, I don't have a child, I don't have children, that's stupid. Ladies and gentlemen, when I came up, there was a lot of people who helped mama and daddy raise us. They did not have children, but they was doing what they knew that God would have them to do. But now we're playing church and we won't help anybody else but our kids. It's a sad day. You know, the children really are watching us. It's a sad day. Let me tell you something really sad. And I have some friends that are Republican as well as Democrat and Independent. But it's a sad day. A whole race of people is supporting a candidate by the name of Donald Trump because he's Republican. They are not comfortable with him. Here's a man that's a billionaire and will say anything, but yet we'll talk about that little kid from the projects. Well, he'll just say anything. I wonder who his mother and dad is. Well, wonder who Donald Trump's mother and dad is. Because he will say anything. But I laugh. It's going to be something else in November. How many of my good friends, well, they're really not friends. They're associates. They're really not associates. I don't know what they are. But I see them every day, grinning and laughing and talking. It is sad that you cannot defeat bigotry by voting for corruption. And that's what my associates, or whatever you want to call them, in November will be doing. But yet they have all kind of degrees, money in the bank, drive nice cars, senators, congressmen, governors. They're embarrassed. They are really embarrassed. But they just can't see themselves voting for Hillary Clinton because she's for all people. They rather support someone for some of the people, those who have big money and look like them. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a sad day. Ask yourself, what are the children saying? The children are watching you. Mommy, who are you going to vote for? Well, I'm voting for Donald Trump. They want to know why, but they can't get an answer for you because you don't have an intelligent answer as to why you're voting, except I'm a Republican. I don't vote for a person because of their race, and I don't vote for a person because of their political association. I vote because they want to do the right thing and the right thing for all people. What is your reason for voting? The children are watching you. You know, ladies and gentlemen, something that I've been pondering this week that I find to be strange. Let's look at private school versus public school. You know, at the time that they integrated schools in my hometown, there was no private school. But once we integrated, that's when the private schools start. But tell me this, if we as a people was willing to do the right thing, there would be no reason for private school if we would have made the public school to do the right thing of quality and making sure that all kids got a quality education. But private schools come out of the fact that there was people in this community, not from the hood, not on Section 8, and I'm not knocking Section 8 people. I'm not knocking people from the hood. I came from the hood. But it would not have been any reason. If we're good enough to come over and build the White House, and we're here come over to build America and to make it what it is now, then why are we not good enough to sit in the classroom together? This is crazy. These are the intelligent people that I see every day. You're not fooling me. You may be fooling some of the people, but I got a little education myself. But listen, we can, some of our foreparents nurse their child. Imagine this. A white baby is in my hand, in my arms, and some of our mothers and grandmothers, we nursed that white child, but we never was good enough to sit at the table and eat with them. And you say that I'm crazy. Perhaps it's your ancestors. Perhaps it's some of your kin people. That's crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, we could iron some of your clothes, and we made sure that you look good when you get out. And now we have some people that won't teach our children right. And you say you're going to heaven too. The children are watching, and the children are listening. Some of us was chauffeurs. We chauffeured you here, we chauffeured you there. Then you drove off and left us. But on the way, you thought you was going somewhere. But when you pulled up and looked at the sign, it says, welcome to hell. Ladies and gentlemen, we better be careful. The children are watching. The children are listening. They want to know why their mama won't do the right thing. Why daddy won't do the right thing. Ladies and gentlemen, it's crazy. Here's a man, Donald Trump, that could not make a kind remark about Chelsea and his daughter's speech. He says, I hate you like it, Chelsea. I just hate it. A man that hate that his daughter disliked another candidate daughter. And you know what the sad thing is? They both are white. But yet we're crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, they may have you fooled. You may want to remain a fool for the rest of your life. But I have waken up. I'm not the fool I used to be. We all once upon a time was a fool. But you don't have to live a fool and die a fool and end up in heaven where the fools are. That's a lot of fools. Ladies and gentlemen, that's crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, as well, we're talking about candidate Trump. Isn't this amazing? We say to the kids who from the hood, and I was one of them, be careful who you run with. Don't run with the wrong crowd. They'll influence you. Birds of the feathers flock together. But ladies and gentlemen, if that's true, that birds of the feathers flock together, and Donald Trump says some of the off-the-wall crap, and we got some intelligent friends of mine, I tell them that they friends. They're not friends. Let me take that back. I don't even tell them I'm real, so I tell them, well, I just, feel like that one day we can be the best of friends. They're going to have to make some changes for that to happen. But ladies and gentlemen, listen to this. We tell our children don't run with the wrong crowd. But lots of people are running with Donald Trump and actually going to vote for him. But a man that talk about women, he's just not talking about black women. He's talking about white women. Oh, I'm voting for Mr. Trump. He's talking about your mama. He also is talking about students who with disability, people with disability. How low can you get that you would, anybody, my mama, your mama, anybody that would talk about a disabled person, poke forward of it, and then you think that you're going to heaven? And that's the candidate you're supporting? Listen to the word. God is not mocked. Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he reap. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a sad day. And they call themselves intelligent. You know, I see people out and I see bankers, I see lawyers and doctors. I know all of them, and I've been in my hometown, and most of the people know me. But I tell you what, if you think you got me fooled, I speak to the lawyers, the doctors, the senators, the congressmen, just like I do Pookie in the hood. Only what you do for Christ will last. It's not because you live in a bigger home. It's not because you're a president of the bank. It's not because you're a CEO. But ladies and gentlemen, only what you do for Christ will last. The children are listening and the children are watching. Ladies and gentlemen, the clock on the wall said it's time to get out of here. So let's see if I can't find a back door and ease out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, let me explain to those people who may not be paying a whole lot of attention. Anytime that you've been depressed or oppressed, you can't push something down all the time, because if you push them down and hold it down, when you take your hand off, it'll rise up. That's what happened. It rose up, and we got President Obama. President Obama is finishing his tenure as president of the United States. And all of those years was nothing but a struggle. There was people who fought against him because of the color of his skin. But yet we're saying we want to treat the children right. We want to do what's right. Ladies and gentlemen, right is not in a lot of us. And it comes in the front in the position of mayors and senators and congressmen and lawyers and doctors. Just because you have a degree behind your name, or you have a senator, or you congressman, or whatever you are, doesn't mean that you are an intelligent person, that you're doing the right thing. But ladies and gentlemen, something is very wrong in America when school is starting up, and some of our kids will be having to experience the same thing. The same thing's going on in my hometown. They're closing schools down. In my hometown, they're looking for the next superintendent. The good old boys and the leaders of the community that I live in, they're not looking for a candidate that fits my background, that fits my color, let's just say my race. They want to get someone that they can use again. And those who have become educated in my community that looks like me, we're sitting back and letting the good old boys and the so-called leaders hire someone else that's not going to be good for all of the students. But thank God, you know, when I grew up, my parents was poor. And perhaps your parents had a good education. But let me tell you what my parents taught me. They taught us to love everybody. Something about the African American race. We never have been taught to hate. But there's a race of people who have been taught to hate, that they are better than someone else. My parents never taught us that we was better than anyone. Neither did they teach that we was less than anyone. They told us that we can be anything we want to be, and we're just as important as anything. And that's what made me go on and aspire to attend integrated school and to go on and do what I can. The students that was in my school, even though it was an alternative school, the students was both black and white, rich and poor. I had the mayor's child, a police chief's child was in my school. I had even one of the school board granddaughters was in my school. But it was, hush, hush, don't say anything. It's supposed to be the poor kids. But I had lawyers' kids that was in my school. I didn't mistreat the whites because of the way some whites had mistreated me when I was in school. I wasn't raised the way Mama said, you do what's right regardless of what other people do. That's what we need to return to. We need to do the right thing. Ladies and gentlemen, leadership is not about titles and positions and flow charts. It's about one's life influencing another life. Ask yourself, what am I doing? What am I doing to influence another life? Now I want to wrap up by saying to the parents, listen to me. Parents are the first role model in their child's life. The second one is their relatives. The next one is the church people. And the fourth is the community. I don't see these role models serving like they did when I was coming up. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been your host of Straight Talking Room 503. and also the author of Enough is Enough. Ladies and gentlemen, enough is enough. The children are listening. The children are watching. What will they see and what will they hear? Join me again next week. Tell them that Professor Merriweather is telling the truth. He is a realist. He's telling it just like a TIT tells. It's real. Ladies and gentlemen, take care of yourself until we meet again in 503. I'm your host, and you have a great week.